Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Friday, October 1st. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you are somebody that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about the tool of charts and technical analysis and how it can be used to help make good decisions as traders, then this will be a video for you. Real quick before I get started, I do want to personally invite you to a free live class that I'm offering actually this evening, depending on when you watch this video. So if you like what you see and you want to learn more about technical analysis and how they can be used as a tool to build consistency, then like I said, I am offering a class tonight. However, I do understand that maybe this is too last minute for you, or if you're watching this Friday morning, you've already missed the class. So if you do want to see the recording of it, because yes, it's live, but it will be recorded, then just shoot me an email, clay at claytrader.com, which you see there on the screen. And I would be happy to send you back the recording of it. So like I said, totally understand if it's too last minute. Now, of course, if you can make it live, perfect. If not, but you do want to see it, then just drop me an email and I'd be happy to send it to you. First ticker symbol, FAMI, over 1 billion shares traded today. Granted, it's a penny stock, sure, but still, that is a whole lot of volume and updates need to be made. And this will mean a little bit more to those of you that watched your previous top 10 video, but hopefully you remember me talking about 40 cents as a level of resistance. And this right here is the power of technical analysis. Now, our chart's the perfect tool. Nothing is, but like I said, talked about this level in yesterday's video. And then there's a foundational rule in charting which states when levels of resistance are broken and closed above, they tend to act as support. And wouldn't you know that? A couple times there, price pulled back. Look right where it essentially bounced off of, that green line. Right there, essentially right off that green line. Now, maybe not, now actually right there it was exactly, but you get the idea. Just generally speaking, price came down to that level and bounced from that area. So, you know for sure that there are technical traders out there around the world that said, I'm not going to chase the price. Let's let it pull back to that former area, buy there, and then they've, gotten a very nice bounce from that point. So overall, just a nice real life example of the power of charts. But then moving forward now, 40 cents now becomes that ideal level of support. Ideal meaning for Ask Clay, what would make this chart look the absolute best going forward? Certainly if the price can stay above 40. So if the price drops below it, that doesn't mean the entire chart's destroyed or anything like that. But yeah, if the price can manage to actually stay above it, that would be a great sign of power. And then from the overarching standpoint, watch that purple line there, the 50-period moving average, as the name implies. That line's going to move itself as time goes on. So from an overarching standpoint, as long as the price stays above that line, AZLN itself moves higher and higher, then the bulls are in full control. And then as far as areas of resistance are concerned, key level to watch, let's try that again. Going to be right up there around that 50-cent mark, so keep a close eye on that. But overall, the monster movement continues, so it'll be interesting to see how this one closes out the week on Friday. Next one, AMC, and what a monster move. As I talked about in the last video, things were not looking good, and then things were still not looking good. I should have noted with the previous chart, but what we're looking at here are 30-minute charts, meaning each one of these, as they're called, 30 or candlesticks, represents 30 minutes worth of time. And that's important because you see right there, in fact, let's just do this. Let's just move this over so you can see what the first 30 minutes look like today. So overall, that opening part just okay, bad, and then right there, that 30-minute session right there, things were looking really bad, but then just like that, boom, things turned around, and now just a big old explosion upwards, which brings about the more than valid question of, all right, very clearly, this has been a very impressive move. But is there any sort of true power behind it? Is there genuine strength? Well, let's just see if the price can now start to make signs of progress. Now, I understand me just saying signs of progress, that's just words. But again, this is the power of charts. They allow you to take phrases and sound bites and make them very quantifiable by assigning numerical values to them. So when I say progress, in fact, let me just get rid of these green lines down here. What I mean is this area right here, which again goes back to that rule we just talked about in FAMI. When levels of resistance are broken and closed above, you want to see them act as support. And I'm not saying that this will occur, but for example's sake, if the price were to go down there, behave like that, and then just stay above it, what would you still have? Well, you'd still have a set of lows there. You'd have lows there, and if you envision those as stair steps, well, you still got progress being made in the upwards direction, which again is the definition of a truly strong move, a truly strong bounce. Let's just see if it can make progress. And once again, in my mind, quote unquote, progress being defined as 36.25. In terms of next levels of resistance, key level to keep an eye on now, going to be right up there at $40.50. Yes, the price did temporarily break through it right there, but that didn't last as the price fell back below it. So moving forward, $40.50 going to be that key level of resistance. But yeah, no doubt about it, monster move today. Is there true power behind it? Let's see if the price can start to show signs of progress. Next one, ticker symbol CEI, and only did like a couple 100 million shares today. I say that tongue in cheek just because things have been so crazy that at this point, only a couple 100 million is actually kind of small. But overall, I'll give credit where credit's due. things put up a good fight today. I mean, there is a whole, and I realize I state the obvious when I say this, but after Wednesday, there was a whole lot of downwards momentum that showed up. So going into today, it was a question of, is this going to continue? Is this pullback going to drop? And no, I mean, not only did it not continue downwards, and, that green line that I talked about previously hold as support. I mean, that green line wasn't even tested. And really, I mean, it didn't even come close to being tested, as the lowest it got here is right around, $3.50, give or take. And, that level's all the way down there at $2.90. So overall, good solid day. Of course, there's still more work that needs to be done, but just from an angle of, wow, there's a lot of momentum, downwards momentum, coming in today. And then to see how the price behaved, not a guarantee of anything. There are no guarantees in the market, but does become a little bit more valid, a little bit more rational at this point to think that, all right, maybe the bloodshed's over. Maybe this thing's ready to, continue on with the trend. Yeah, again, not guaranteed, but it becomes a lot more rational to be thinking that way right now. So from a support standpoint, again, ideally, you want to see the price stay above that purple line, but if the price doesn't hold above it and breaks below, you still have that secondary level down there at 290. So those would be the levels of support. And then as far as areas of resistance are concerned, that main overarching level that I think, will really need to be broken if this thing's got any sort of chance at all of regaining, kind of overall momentum and pushing new highs, going to be right up there at $4.30. But yeah, overall, I'd consider it a good, healthy victory for the bulls. Next one here, ticker symbol METX. And I like this setup here, mainly based on the dynamic that the price has at least now pulled back. So it's not like you have to worry about, am I chasing the price? Am I suffering from, fear of missing out, FOMO? Nothing like that. It's pulled back. So at least from that point of view, that, it's not, you're not chasing the price. You're just, pretty much getting caught up in all the hype and all that. But I mean, you also have to factor in, well, I don't know, maybe this isn't a pullback. Maybe this is the start of something much more to the downside. And that's a fair point too, which is why risk management always exists. But from a pullback perspective, what makes this interesting is if this thing can pull back some more, to down there around 34 cents, that makes it a very interesting scenario. By no means is 34 cents some sort of random area. Now, of course, that doesn't mean that it's a guaranteed profitable entry point, but nobody could accuse you of saying 34 cents. Why would you look at that? Why would you think that? No, that's a former breakout point. You have moving averages down around that area. So it's not a guaranteed area, but again, it is a way to make a rational decision, which is, the kind of the linchpin of the power of technical analysis. So 34 cents is going to be that key pullback area. And then from a resistance standpoint, key level that stands out to me going to be right up there around the 40-cent mark. So if the price can recover back around, get up to 40 and then break through it, again, no guarantees, but does it, do I think that it's got a chance to at least get up to those highs and potentially break through? Yeah, absolutely, especially if it's a high volume break of 40 cents. But overall, like I said, big volume today, nice movement. You got the pullback. So if you still believe in the overall trend, the overall momentum, then this would be a nice buyable pullback for you. Next one, NAKD, and not a whole lot to say here other than just consolidation. And there are, definitely a couple levels that have really made themselves apparent right now. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that line. But really, in my mind, there's two main levels that stand out. First level right now, all about that area of support down there at the 68-cent mark. You can see over the past couple of days, price has been down here several times, and it has held strong. So 68 cents going to be that near-term and key level of support. And then from a resistance standpoint, all about that purple line there, which you now know is that 50-period moving average. You can see the price got up around that area several times here and could never quite hold on. So in all actuality, in the very, very near term, what we have here is a sideways channel. The price just chopping back and forth right here for basically the past day and a half. So the big question mark moving forward is, who's ultimately going to win out of this battle in the channel? Are the bears going to win out by pushing to the downside of the channel? Are the bulls going to win out by breaking to the upside of the channel through that moving average? That all remains to be seen. But as of now, going into Friday, I mean, it's really just as straightforward as that. 30-minute time frame, sideways channel pattern. Next one, ticker symbol PALT, and very, very nice movement. Same kind of idea of CEI. Yesterday on Wednesday, there was a whole lot of downwards pressure that had shown up. So moving into today, it was a question of, is this kind of the beginning of the end? But no, got the nice gap up and, did pull back from the gap up. But overall, especially when you look at the lows, I mean, the lowest that got there on that pullback, and now this pullback is there. So you have higher lows that are being formed, which creates, a very interesting setup moving forward. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these lines down there, as I think they've served their purpose for now. Because really, in my mind, the main level to watch is all about this area right up here at $14, which is truly being a very, very annoying level. You look back there to Wednesday, price got around that area, momentum just disappeared. Once again, today, this morning, price got up around 14, momentum just disappeared. So while I'm not saying that the price can never, ever get the true breakout of $14, I'm just saying that, $14 now has really established a track record of being just kind of a thorn in the side of the bulls, and that will need to be monitored. And then as far as levels of support are concerned, just really as straightforward as that purple line there. Again, you now know the 50-period moving average. So continue to watch that as that line moves higher and higher. But overall, it's creeping upwards. Yeah, I realize people probably, would have wished it would have kept on going there. but it's not like it got up there and completely crashed, put in the higher base, so it's setting up for an interesting Friday. Next one, ticker symbol PROG. And what makes this most interesting, again, each of these represents 30 minutes. I bring that up because check out the last 30 minutes of the day. Nice solid green candle, nice surge in volume there. So that now brings up the more than valid question of, hey, is this the start of something bigger? Because technically speaking, a little miniature breakout has already occurred. So if you were to draw a trend line right there, then you can see that the price is clearly broken above the trend line. But there's still work to be done, and there's still a big question mark out there. And what is that question mark? Well, it's all about, but can the price break up through these highs here at $1.58, which earlier in the day, the bulls failed. Doesn't mean that it'll fail again, but it is, a data point that suggests, all right, before you get too excited about this last 30 minutes, let's see, can the price at least break up through that level? So from just kind of a trading jargon perspective, that is definitely the main resistance and the main breakout point. But don't get me wrong, the last 30 minutes was certainly, a step in the right direction. And then as far as supports are concerned, main area for anybody that likes to play pullbacks, a couple different choices. Basically that previous breakout point there at $1.40. Or if you want more of a high maintenance area, we're like, no, I want the price to pull back even more. That would be down there right around the $1.25 mark. But overall, very nice day, very nice final 30 minutes. So we'll see how it all translates into Friday. Next one, ticker symbol GROM. And this is, I just really like this setup. I think because it's just so well defined. What do I mean by that? Well, I'm not trying to come across like I have some sort of special talent or this is a great discovery. I assure you, people around the world have done this right here. People have drawn in that trend line right there. And I say all that because when a lot of people around the world are watching the same thing, wondering the same thing, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can definitely produce some very nice price dynamics. So like I said, that everybody has drawn that trend line there. That's a very basic trend line to draw. But like I said, charts don't need to be complicated. They need to be basic. You're trying to find where are these potential self-fulfilling prophecies, and in my opinion, that's one of them. So again, no guarantees, but is it valid? Is it rational to think that if the price can get up to that trend line and get a break up through it, that could create another round of buying and another round of momentum? It absolutely is a valid, rational thought to have. So by no means is that trend line random, by no means is putting together a trade plan based on that trend line some sort of random thing, because that a bunch of people have taken notice of that. So let's see what happens with it and see if the price can ultimately get the break up through it. And if it can, let's see just how big that self-fulfilling prophecy potentially is. Next one here, ticker symbol ALZN, and a just very, very nice technical pattern here. So what sets up the technical pattern is this 30-minute session right there where the price really just exploded. And then, it did consolidate essentially the rest of the day, just kind of chopped back and forth. But in doing so has now created a good solid pattern, which again, going back to the topic we just talked about, this is a pattern that I'm sure many people have noticed. So you do have that self-fulfilling prophecy attribute to it. But first part of it is just a trend line right there, the resistance part of it. And then on the flip side, you have, and just because, there we go. Let's make that nice and proportional. There we go. Then you have that lower part of the pattern. And let me change that to green to represent more of the bullish part of it. And then to make this all the same color, just to make it a little easier to see. So we have our resistance there. We have our support there. And then this would be known as the pull portion. And then if you want to put a golf hole down there to make it more visual for you golfers out there, this would be known as a bull pennant pattern. So headed into Friday, the 30 minutes got the nice solid bull pennant pattern. So it just goes back to that question of who is going to win out. Are the bears going to win out by pushing it to the downside of the pattern, or the bulls going to show up and win by getting the technical breakout to the upside? That all remains to be seen. But anyway, you slice it. Very, very nice bullish technical pattern. So let's see how it goes on Friday. Next one, ticker symbol SPCE. I know a very popular one out there, and certainly setting off alarm bells today as that opening part of the day, volume came surging in, got a huge move to the upside, and then consolidated the rest of the day. But within, just like we just talked about, within the consolidation has formed some very well-defined and a nice pattern here. So this should look very familiar, but we have an area of resistance right there. And then for the bottom part of the pattern, I'm not actually going to use a trend line. I'm going to use that pink line there, the famous 200 period moving average. So yes, technically speaking, that's not a trend line, but in many cases, moving averages can be used like trend lines, and that's what we have here. So this current value is at 24, let's just call it 75. So moving into Friday, 24.75 going to be the support level, the bottom part of that pattern, and then we have the resistance line right there. But again, just to make this a little bit maybe easier to see. So we have the resistance level there, we have the support level there, we have the pull portion, and then let's get you golfers out there. There's the golf hole. So we have ourselves yet another bull pennant pattern. So if you want to sound smart, impress your friends, just say, hey, you know what? SPCE on the 30-minute time frame has a bull pennant pattern, and I promise you they will think you are the smartest and coolest person that's walking the face of this earth. So that's how I would describe that. And now it's just a question of, again, back to the theme of self-fulfilling prophecy. If the price can't get the break up through that area of the pattern, how big of a self-fulfilling prophecy does it turn out to be? It'll be interesting to see, and who knows, maybe even trade. And that wraps up the top 10. And again, just want to personally invite you, if you like what you saw and now you're like, wow, I can see the value. I can see how these, this tool can help to make, avoid the random decisions, help you make good logical decisions. But I want to learn more, then definitely get signed up for the class. So like I said, depending on when you watch this, it'll be, if you're watching it right after the market close, and yeah, it'll be this evening, Thursday, September 30th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. But again, if this is too last minute, you already got something on your schedule, or who knows, maybe you're watching this later on Thursday, or you're watching it Friday morning and you've already missed it, but you do want to see it, then no problem at all, because like I said, the live event will be recorded. So just shoot me an email, clay@claytrader.com, and I'd be happy to send you the recording of it. And then as far as these top 10 videos are concerned, just a quick request from me. If you enjoy this and you would like for me to continue to put in the time and effort to make these videos, then please communicate that to me by hitting the like button and leaving a basic comment below, even if it's a ticker symbol that you're watching tomorrow or traded today, a number, a smiley face emoji, but anything. Leaving a comment, hitting that like button communicates to me that you enjoy these, you find these helpful. And as long as I know that is the case, then I have no problem at all continuing to put in the time and effort to make them. So like I said, doing those two things helps and, goes a long way in my kind of time management book, if you will. And then again, hopefully you're able to make the class tonight. If not, get signed up or, drop me an email and I'll be happy to send you a recording. So everybody take care. Have a good one.